Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I want to show you this deck today. This deck is Crookback Bog. Some of you may be familiar with this term, Crookback Bog. It's a place in a video game. The video game, of course, is Witcher 3. This deck is a deck that kind of reminds me of that area in the Witcher game. If you want to use this deck, you have to use it with Nissa. Okay, so Nissa the Shadowed Bow. This one is important because you have this ability here, right? Without this ability, this third ability, you can't use this deck the way that I'm hoping to show you that this deck can operate, right? This deck is a deck that does almost like an infinite loop. In order to do the infinite loop, you have to activate this last ability here, right? So if you have a Planeswalker that's green and black, you can use this deck, but it won't be as completely powerful as it is if you have Nissa here, okay? Let's see. This is the deck. Got a lot of these cards here that are, they don't look like anything super special. They don't look anything like, some of these crazy good other cards that you might want to include for some of the creatures. But there's a reason why I've chosen these, okay? I'll show you which ones really quickly. Ravenous Gigamole is one. The Eerie Soul Tender is another. Blanchwood Prowler is another. And I also like this one, Gnawing Vermin. What you'll notice about these four creatures, right, they all have this ability here. It says when this creature enters the battlefield, destroy the top 2 cards of target player's library. Okay, so you're going to be able to destroy cards just by putting this creature into play. Any of these 4 creatures will destroy cards, right? So destroy the top 3 cards of your library when this one comes into play. Over here, when this one comes into play, destroy 3 cards of your library. Kind of same thing, when this one comes into play, destroy top 3 cards of your library. The reason we want to have these creatures that are able to destroy the top 3 cards, or top how many ever cards, is because, as I mentioned, we're going to use this Reclaimed Zendikon token. We're going to try to power ourselves up here and then be able to launch this Reclaimed Zendikon. When we do, it says here, when you cast a creature, return the first creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It gets XX, and it gains Berserker. And you can kind of see, right? X is the number of black gems. When a creature you control dies, the first creature in your hand gets YY, gains Reach, and Y is the number of green gems. Okay, so this is how the deck's going to work. We're going to hopefully have a lot of creature cards in the graveyard already, right? We're going to launch this. Once we launch this, we're going to be able to, we'll play a creature, right? Once we play that creature, it's going to be one of these 4 here, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Every single one of them will destroy cards, right? Send them down into the graveyard. All right. When that happens, click here. You'll be able to move a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and it's going to gain a certain amount of mana. All right. You'll probably see this. I'm hoping to show you this in the gameplay. Why it's so important that you have this kind of a theme going, right? You'll be throwing creatures into the graveyard, pulling creatures out of the graveyard. Once they come out of the graveyard, they'll go into play because they'll get filled with mana. At that point, more creatures will come into the graveyard. Then more creatures will go into the graveyard, and it'll be kind of almost like an infinite loop. It's not an infinite loop by any means, but it kind of gets close sometimes. All right, so let's take a look. We have Ravenous Gigamole, Tybar. Okay. You can kind of look if you wanted to, right? I'm gonna move Tyvar up. With this deck, what we want to do is we want to play defense first, okay? That's just something that is one of those idiosyncrasies for a particular deck. We want to play defense first. And the reason we want to do that is because when we're done building ourselves up to the Reclaimed Zendikon, we're going to be able to get the offense going and maybe be able to smash the opponent in one turn. All right, so play the defense first, build yourself up to be able to allow you to launch this, and then that's usually the best way to get victories. I want to show you guys this one real quick. Tyvar, the Jubilant Brawler. The reason this one is in the deck is because it gives haste, okay? Kind of just want to show that we definitely want haste because haste is going to give us the ability to win on the very first turn that we launch this incredible combo. Okay, thriving more. I like to have these lands in here. These lands are great for helping us to make sure that we're able to get all of our loyalty up here. Helps us to get there fast. All right, let's go like this. There we go. We got 2 so far. Now, one thing I want to mention, when you play this deck, try not to touch any of those black gems, all right? The reason we don't want to touch any black gem is because when we launch the Reclaim Zendikon, you'll start having creatures in your hand gain mana, right? It's going to be free mana. And the amount of mana that you're able to gain is directly correlated to how many black gems you have on the board. So you want to keep a lot of black gems out there. You want to have at least 10 black gems out, okay? Okay, with that being said, let's go this. So they're killing some black gems. That's usually not good. We have a decent number of them already out. Great aura. Gonna go like this. I'm not gonna... Well, I'll throw both of them out here. Okay, what can we do? Gee, I really don't want to hit these black gems, but I think I'm going to have to. Okay, it looks like we got ourselves our 3rd ability right there. Now, I'm going to delay the launch of this 3rd ability, and the reason is I would like to have some creatures that are in the graveyard. If we have creatures that are in the graveyard, then we're going to get a chance to really see how this deck can, you know, launch into a really strong deck that's going to have, hopefully, a real cool ending to this video. Gnawing Vermin, that's real good. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, let's give a count here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 black gems. Okay. As long as we got more than 10, we'll be fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit this ability, Reclaim Zendikon. Remember, we want to have at least 10. And the reason is all of these guys, these creatures will be filled with mana as long as you have more than 10, right? The most expensive one is this one here. He's got 10. Okay. And then, all right, let's see if we can put together a nice ending to this video. I'm looking for a nice, hopefully it's going to look like an infinite loop. Let's see what we can do. Right there. When this one comes into play, another one gets put out into your hand, right? Okay, here we go. Destroy. So for each of these creatures that will be coming out, it's pulling another one from the graveyard, filling it with mana, right? Go put another one out. There you go. You can see over here they're coming out. When one comes out, it pulls another one from the graveyard, it fills it with mana. Okay, another one comes out, pulls one from the graveyard, fills it with mana. Every single time one comes out, you'll be able to pull a creature from your graveyard, put it into your hand, fill it with the same amount of mana that you have here as far as how many black gems you have, right? So it means basically 2 things. If you want this to go infinite, just kind of like how it's going infinite now, you're going to have to remember that you're going to need at least 10 of these black gems out, because 10 is the most expensive creature we have here. All right, and you're gonna need creatures in the graveyard. Okay, looks like the Eerie Soul Tender is in the graveyard. It's asking me, do I want to replace a creature? Yeah, we'll go with that. Replace this one here. Those guys that I replace them with get sent to the graveyard. That's really a cool part of this deck, because when they're in the graveyard, they're eligible for us to pull them out, right? And we're able to pull them out, put them up here. That's gonna help us a lot. Okay, I'll tell you what, looks like we got a nice strong legion of creatures here. This can actually go infinite if you guys wanted it to. I'm not gonna, just because I don't want the video to be super long. You can see here we got enough. What's really important is you get the haste, and then that's it. Okay, like and subscribe, it helps the channel. That's it for me. Good gaming, guys.